You ever feel like Scotty's lying to us, telling us to buy these Toyotas, waving his hands around, and then we get one and it's a piece of junk? Well, here we are, folks, the 2013 Toyota Tundra. It's got the big 5.7. It's my own truck, and it's broke down. And by that, I mean it's got an exhaust gasket that's leaking, and the muffler's getting rusty. So we got to fix that. Back beginning part of deer season here, the tailpipe fell off and got twisted around the axle, so I got under there and chucked that in the jingweeds. Went to a buddy shop, had him just bend me up a tailpipe to temporarily suffice as I ordered a new OEM muffler and OEM tailpipe. And then the Toyota dealer screwed me because that stuff's on back order. I had it on order for several months, and finally I said, to heck with it. Can't get it from Toyota, and they have no estimated ETA. They can only tell me there's 700 and whatever of the mufflers on back order, and you're never gonna get it. So I had to do what any guy would do, is we went aftermarket. Now on these trucks, personally, I've installed some Walker mufflers, and they're complete garbage. They're super restricting. They turn almost bright blue immediately because they retain so much heat. So I didn't want to use one of those, not to mention that, it'll fall apart in the first, year. Tailpipes fall off them, and their clamping mechanism from the tailpipe to the muffler is pretty well trashed. So I opted for another option, which there's not a lot of options. I didn't want to put a noisemaker on there like a, Borla exhaust or any aftermarket, fart cans. I wanted it quiet. So I got on the Rock Auto, and I found another brand that I'm not familiar with. I don't even know what it is because it's out there on the other side, but it actually looks pretty good. It's not stainless because they didn't offer that. It's, aluminumized steel, so therefore it'll rot out still. But it actually looked pretty good. Looked like nice bends. The hangers looked nice. And the other issue is my flanges off the back of my converters are rotted right almost clean off. So I did get some Walker flanges that I think are going to work for us, and some gaskets I think that are going to work. And we're going to get under there and just hack and whack our way through it and see how it ends up when we're done. So here's what I got from the Rock Auto. What company is this? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Came in, it's all smashed up and banged up. Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, the FedEx guy chucks it off the back like it's a Christmas present. I need a muffler. They had one, and it's not a Walker. It's a, I don't know what it says, OES, original equipment, or original exhaust system, but beat to crap. The ends are all, bashed in and stuff, so we're just gonna have to kind of straighten things up as we go. And then I got a can of the low gloss high temp paint from Napper. Not a sponsor. I bought an OEM clamp to hook the tailpipe on. And then I got some new flanges, which we should be able to weld these on my truck, which are the companion flange for down here on this end of the muffler. I feel like Chris Fix with everything laid out here. If we only had some soapy water. Let's see. So this flange here, I'm hoping, boom, something like that. We'll weld them up. And you guys, the numbers of that, I've been just trying to cut off all the tape and stuff right now. Get her all ready. Like I say, these are just aluminumized pipes made right here in America. Made in the USA, just like Toyota. And they do have a little bit of paint on them. Let's go under here now and look at the offending components. There it is. The old flange is getting pretty rough. This one here is about ready to leave us. Oh, you guys want to see how fluid film and stuff's holding up. 2013 daily dirt road driver. Salt 12 months out of the year. She's holding up pretty decent. But anyhow, here's the tailpipe I had my buddy bend up. And that's on there. We just welded it to the muffler there once she fell off. So I say, before the rest of it falls off, and I got one of these heat shields is falling off too. I can hear it. I thought, oh, there's the fender. This guy. She's rusted out in the middle. No big deal. Okay, enough show and tell, let's get after it. I really hate working on my own stuff. I don't know why, it's always on the back burner. Speaking of burner. Gotta reach back there and burn all the rust off real quick. Stuff gets you right in the lip. Alright, that should be good enough for right now. Put down a little bit here. Grab a pry driver. Okay. Thought we made a space in there, but no. Just need a little persuasion. Alright, I guess we'll pull the whole muffler off there. Let's chop the tailpipe off it. So one thing I find peculiar is the number of comments about people commenting about me using a cutting torch, which is really bizarre to me. I'll talk about it in a minute. I guess we don't need to cut that. Should pull straight back out of there. Am I thinking? And then we'll get something to take this muffler off with. So when I talk about the cutting torch, old Vic over there, all his glory, you know, me and Vic, we go way back. Since '05, Vic's my second set of torches I've gone through. I literally will wear them out. But in the salt belt, I mean, that tool is almost, that tool is a necessity. I should change. It's a fact, hashtag fact. You can fact check me on that. If you don't have a torch in your shop in the Northeast, as they say downstate, forget about it. You need it. You know, everything from exhaust work to heat and bolts, cutting stuff. And I get some comments in the comment section about the economics of it. You know, it's very, very expensive apparently. People say, but they're not. The cutting torch head itself is quite inexpensive, and the hoses, and then you lease your tanks, and it's really not that expensive at all. It's at the bottom of my expense list at the end of the year. So I don't really get it. Maybe you guys can elaborate on what the big woes about using the cutting torch are. It's really, I don't know, it's kind of foreign to me, I guess. There's one. Oh boy. Let's get the one at the back here. Oh boy! There's two. Watch your tootsies. Here she goes. There's three. Oh, it must sound pretty awesome right now, I bet. What a wreck. I figure that's what heaven's gonna be like. Streets of gold, seeing the Lord, and no rust. It's gonna be amazing, folks. Wow, them babies are paper thin. Nothing left to them, as you can see clearly. Before we do any flange repairs, I want to take and stick the muffler up here and make sure that these are indexed correctly. I don't want to just go cutting these off and putting these on and come to find out, you know, the Wing Dong aftermarket, they're, you know, a little bit off. So I think we should do that, man. There's cold water dripping right down my neck. Oh, let's see, got the stinking light right in the way. Remove that. Try to put the light where you guys can see. You get these vehicles that are covered with fluid film. Boy, it's really difficult to record on them because everything's so dark. Get in the hole, baby. Oh yeah, I should have moved that one. That was a little snug. Let's try these ones. A little snug. Not in all the way either. All right, just a minute. I'm gonna have to get a little lube. They don't line up quite perfectly. Plus, we're probably going to have to pull them back out. Let's try to get this one in all the way. Ooh, got a squirter. Oh gosh, a double squirter. Okay. Whew, life is good. So let's see. Actually, they're pretty dang close for being aftermarket, believe it or not. Wow. Fancy. Okay. Kind of bend that back. I think we're in good shape for the shape we're in, folks. We'll proceed now to cut off the old flange, get the new ones fitted on the pipe, and then prior to welding them, we will bolt them up to the aftermarket. And we'll stick them on there with the welder / comment generator, in the words of Jim Morrison. Come on, baby, light my fire. It really wasn't that good, was it? I didn't cut the flanges off all the way. I want to have a little looky at something. I just didn't want to over trim. Let's see what my plan was. We're good to go. There, now I'm happy. All right, so now we just have minimal grinding to do. You can be as efficient with a cutting torch if you have experience as you could be with a grinder, as far as, you know, removing old material, outer material, like a weld, for example, but not touching your base metal. And that's why you do a little hopscotch back and forth, because it takes some process of, once the inner piece that you don't want to cut becomes too hot, well, then you got to walk away. If you don't, you're going to screw yourself. And that's the same way, like you guys see me cut a bolt or a nut off a bolt and never hit the threads. It's not magic, it's just finesse and knowing when to, you know, back away. And the same thing when you're heating a bolt. Let's say you're heating a nut to get it off a stud. Heat it up, get it red hot. You don't want that inner stud getting smoldering hot too, otherwise it kind of defeats the purpose. So you heat it, you try it. If it doesn't work the first time, just let it cool down and come back, try it again. Try to do a little touch up with the grinder. We got them ground down how I think the flanges will fit nice, or at least be able to weld to them now. We're gonna stick the muffler back up here, and then we're gonna stick our flanges on. We're gonna get the welder / comment generator, and then start tacking the flanges on. I wanna make darn sure that they're gonna fit these nice and flat because we're not using the OEM style gasket. Well, you'll see as we go, I'm sure. Need a place to ground the welder. I'm gonna go on the back side of the converter, I guess, probably be the easiest. I snap a pair of vice grips on it and I click my ground on that. And it works a lot better than trying to get it on the pipe. You want it as close to your work as possible, but not in your way. I'm gonna be using the Miller-Matic 211. Stick our ground on there, we'll get her set up here. Set it to nuclear. Get her fired up. I'm gonna grab one of our flanges, slip it over, and then probably the best bet, if I'm thinking here, is to go get a couple bolts. So I was just going to use a couple pairs of vice grips, which we could likely do. Let me go grab a couple bolts. We need them anyways. All right, grab us a couple 7/16 bolts. Stick them through here and we'll just lightly button them together. Whoa! Or drop it straight onto the floor. Knowing that we were going to do that, I brought extras. Okay, there we go. So now that's bolted on right where we need it. We can slide it back here. Line it, let this outer pipe, this little stub we left off, it lines up inside this inner pipe here. Theoretically, that's how it would go with an OEM exhaust. I'm gonna get a little ratchet strap here just to pull this back, pull it exactly where I need it. So I'm not sitting here fighting my rubber bushings or anything. We'll line up this one, and then we'll get this tacked on right at that exact angle where it naturally wants to stay. And well, we'll just hope this doesn't rot off here next year. Throw that on there. We'll hook this up here on the frame somewhere. Right there's fine. All right. I don't want to over click it. There we go. So there. That holds that exactly like it should be. It's sitting flush. The only difference is we're gonna have the gasket in here, which is quite thin. So I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna put a few tacks on this, then we're gonna take it apart and weld it. That should hold it for us, folks. Looks tacky. We'll disconnect our strap here. Take that off. Before we get all hog wild, we're going to make sure that our other flange fits good also. Here's the part number on those flanges. That is a Walker number. Your 31886er. Let's see. There's that same process. Bolts it together. Yeah, I wish aftermarket exhaust systems weren't so crappy, but they're junk. I mean, the price you pay for them, you kind of hope they weren't, but. Line up our first flange we did. Okay, our first flange is lined up and tight. That one is lined up and tight. It looks like it's sitting well. I know the photography and lighting here sucks, but I guess at the end of the day, probably doesn't matter too much, but well, sure it does. You're making a video. You want to move your ground strap. Like I say, keep it close to your work. There we go. Let's put a couple tacks on that baby. That flange is good. Let me just stick a couple bolts in there. I think our hole's on up. That hole's lined up. That hole lines up. Just want to be certain. No going back. I guess there is, but you would need to use a grinder. Shove it over just a little. There's one tacky. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. This time we were smart, took the bolts out before the ratchet strap. And at this point, folks, we just need to fry them on there with the welder the best of our abilities. Being a non-YouTube, non-certified welder, we're gonna give it our best shot. And just see how that works for us. We're gonna move our ground strap real close now. What's up, Mrs. O?
You get done yet?
No, ma'am.
What? It's taking you so long.
Everybody keeps interrupting me. That's if you want to know the truth.
Who's interrupting?
Well, Bill was here with a tire, and Josh is over here. Your oldest child's out here. The phone's ringing.
Your phone? You're gonna answer the phone now? I guess I get it.
All right. I don't know what Mrs. O wanted, but I'm sure she'll be back. Let's see. Hopefully we got our welder set up right here. Let's do it. go, one down. I think we even welded all of it if we're lucky. Hey, did you need us?
Oh.
Or were you just coming out to harass us?
Harass?
Yeah. We're doing one of the most forbidden tasks on YouTube.
Okay.
This is all.
What's that?
We fired up the comment generator. This thing right here. This is the comment generator.
What about the electricity?
No.
You just put a little water?
No, they don't care about that.
I do.
It's not gonna get you. What they care about is my inability to weld. Or anyone on YouTube.
Nobody can weld on YouTube?
Oh gosh, no. There's a couple things you don't do on YouTube. A, weld. B, solder a wire. I think that's it. What else?
Anything naked?
Huh?
Anything naked?
No, you can do naked stuff.
No, you can't.
We're talking, that might be a real YouTube rule. This is the unspoken rules of YouTube. If you were welding and soldering naked, yes, I'm sure.
Somebody's gonna say.
Somebody's gonna say something.
No.
No, you did it wrong. Your welding's not good. That's what they would say. All right, we gotta get back after it.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to you. I think we got it. Most of the way around, and it's probably not gonna fall off. Goody. So that's what those look like. A little bit of bird turd around there. That one's on. I don't think it's going anywhere. So I think we've got good penetration. On the inside, there is a bit of a gap. Going to be a bit of a gap around that pipe. I don't think at the end of the day it's going to matter. If we wanted to, we could weld on the inside of that flange. But the gasket's going to cover it all. It's going to seal it all. But if we were curious or concerned that we may have missed some up and around the top, perhaps, which I don't think we did, we could weld it on the inside in that open gap too. The disadvantage to that would be is if we ever have to replace the flanges again, cutting them off with the torch would be a little bit more of a chore. put on your 31640 gasket Walker. Got a couple of these babies, not the OEM, all right? So before everybody flips out about that, I completely understand these are not the original style gasket that goes in there. However, they fit great. Oh, that's hot as a mother effer. Woo! And they're gonna do their job. Man, did somebody just freaking weld that thing? Psst. Sit on there, fella. Oh man, that smarted a little bit, idiot. Let's see, you want to do it like this probably. Sizzling hot. Let's put a nut on there just so that doesn't fall off a half a dozen times. What a ding dong. I don't care how long you've been doing this. Oh, you guys are getting dripped on. But there's something about the chemical makeup of our brains that when we cut something off with a torch or finish welding it, 5 seconds later we need to touch it. And then we're always surprised, like, oh, why did I do that? Well, because you're an idiot. That's why. I'm just putting flat washers and nuts on each side. Yeehaw. Let me get a 5/8 and an 11/16. There. We'll snug them babies up. I guess first we gotta straighten out the pipe here. It's kind of banged in a little bit. And then this little piece of wire that's stuck in there, but it's shoved down in and it's like barbed. It opened up beyond where we can pull it out there. So we're gonna have to try to kind of yank that out of there. See if we can get a hold of it. Real handy. There, we got her out. Trying to get it uniform, and when you use the die kind of towards its maximum capacity, it doesn't make a great looking pipe. It doesn't round it off, so to speak. That's why I'm trying to use the other one that's essentially the correct size. There we go. I just want to leave that like that. I'll get a hammer. I want to beat the top of that back down and then kind of straighten that up. Shipping pipes like this has to be a disaster. I just wonder what Rock Auto does when, you know, half these pipes get delivered in this condition and the regular homeowner can't do anything about it. It must be frustrating for Rock Auto and for the homeowner. I think that's good enough. It's back around again. I kind of hope this pipe holds up well. The quality and construction of it seems to be, you know, far superior to Walker exhaust from what I can see. We'll see. I mean, you know, it doesn't mean anything if it looks good, if it's, you know, if it's smoked in a couple years anyways. I don't know. Can't really think of a better way to ship pipe, but you can see how this edge of this flange is kind of bashed in there. So, I don't know, I'll get a wire wheel, see if we can't wire wheel this stuff off there. Perhaps. It may not even be relevant. We'll just kind of tweak it up there anyways. Okay, let's see if it fits. Tell you what, let me second person for this part. Oh, she don't fit. She's just a little snug, which that's fine by me. There's the factory gasket. Almost forgot that I bought it. I assume this aftermarket pipe will still utilize it. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. Still fits this pipe, but this is going to hinder us even more. So on the OEM pipe, this would go on here. But their flare here on the OEM pipe would be a little bit different. Let's stick this in there. I don't think it's going to matter. What's up, Mrs. O? Do you need me? I left the gasket in there. We're just going to make sure this is the right shape. Give it a little bit of a nudge. And now I'm going to take my hammer, I'm going to go around and peen that edge just a little bit so we can get that little bit of a tighter fit. Push comes to shove, we'll just weld it together. All right, let's try it. I don't know if we got it any tighter or not. Okay, I think that's close enough. I mean, it doesn't couple, it just touches. Ooh. This is the OEM clamp. Their bell, their flare is a little thick. I think we'll be okay. Let me do something here. Let me find the bolt for it. Guess we'll be able to tell by how the clamp fits once we get it up there. There we go. I think we're good. And then the bolt, because I think we're a little more straight up and down now. Yes, sir. We are. So we'll get that started. All right. So now that we know that the two halves of this clamp are sitting parallel, once we start tightening that, that'll start drawing it in even more. But I don't want to do that until we get it up into the rear mount back here. I put the rear hanger back on. Got this about where we need it, I think. And what we'll do is we'll start cinching it down. Kind of tapping it around here. And that's going to force those two pipes together. It's kind of a cheesy system, but I guess it worked for 9 years. So I can't complain too bad with the salt belt. But what the hell's wrong with a clamp, Toyota, idiots? You never find that on a Chevy. America. If you're doing this, I'm going to suggest A, that you get a shop to do it for you. But if you're doing it DIY at home, do not buy this clamp aftermarket. I've done enough exhaust systems I need to know that this clamp from the dealer is far superior to anything aftermarket. Just FYI. Whoa, whoa, whoa! And once the hard part's done, we're gonna come under here with some engine enamel with ceramic, and we're just gonna paint it up. Now we wiped it down, by we I mean I, with some brake parts cleaner. My battery in my camera is just about dead, so I'm gonna put you down, But rest assured, I'm just gonna wipe it off. We're gonna full douche it with some black paint and just cross our fingers we get more than a year out of it. Here's our finished product, folks. One can only goes to about there. So stuff didn't go very far. I need to buy a second can and, you know, obviously come back over this thing, but you know, probably once we figured out it all was gonna fit, should have took it back off and then painted it, but I guess hindsight's always 20/20. So I'm gonna get us another can and hopefully paint it sometime before 2023 or not, and just let it rot off. We'll see. That's it, folks. Putting an aftermarket exhaust on your 27 to 13, 14 Tundra, I guess, probably somewhere in that range. Not a terrible job. I give the fitment and quality of that muffler, initial use, installation, about a 7.8 out of 10 on a Google review. You know, it's not perfect, it's not OEM, and yeah, I guess you can't blame all the, you know, the bashing and the smashing done to it on the manufacturer. Clearly, they didn't stick it out the end of the assembly line like that. At least I wouldn't think. I'm assuming that came from, you know, FedEx and warehouses and Rock Auto and all the hands that touched it in between, you know, point A and point B. But overall, I mean, it fit okay. You know, it's not OEM, but it's pretty good. Certainly a step above Walker, I would say, as far as pipe thickness and quality of hangers and attention to detail. I would say is definitely better than Walker. Not trying to throw stones at them, but it's just, you know, stating the obvious. You know, a few things, you know, using the OEM clamp there on the tailpipe was, you know, is the way to go. And then those flanges that Walker makes are pretty good. They make that flange that I bought in a couple different thicknesses. I bought the thickest ones because when you buy the thinner ones, when they stamp them on their stamping machine, they're deformed. None of them are flat, so they're kind of a pain to use. You got to beat them all flat and whatever. So that seems to work. Don't really know what else to say. At some point, I'll get another can of paint, more than likely, hopefully before the end of winter, and get that tailpipe painted to give it the benefit of the doubt. You can use barbecue grill paint, seems to work pretty good. Any kind of high temp paint. I always use black or silver or something, but it seems to slow it down a little bit and maybe buys you an extra year. Not being you know, familiar with this brand that I installed, I have no idea how long they last untreated, we'll say. But it's about to get a good treating of calcium chloride on the way home, so that's it. Nothing else to say. Why don't you treat yourself to that comment section? A question, a comment, a concern, the Insta, the Facebook. You guys know where to find us. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.